Hello, and for those of you new to the channel, my name is Billy. This video, however, is not about the channel. Today it is a little bit more about you. Today, I want to express the importance of finding yourself and the benefits this could have. Now, by the time I was 20, I realized two important things in my life that persuaded me to understand myself better. The first thing I realized in the 2 years after being at a high school was that being the leader of my life was going to be the most challenging part in my life. Yes, there would eventually come more responsibilities branched off of life's journey, but all of those responsibilities would only be dictated by one thing. That one thing was choice. At 18, you face life in its fullest. You're thrown out of school and into the world of challenging possibilities and fulfilled with the questions at night of who you want to be and how you will get there. If the pressure isn't enough to handle, the truth must be. At this time, you may feel helpless, maybe even anxious, or if you're lucky, maybe even happy. Sure enough, however, you must be or must have been curious. Because it is at this point in time we search for the correct answers. We look for something definite. Should we go to school? Should we get a job? Should we move out? It's hard to keep up answering these questions when, unfortunately, if left unanswered, may lead to bigger questions such as, how am I going to eat tonight? Now, for time's sake, I'll save you the time by assuring you that nothing is obvious and there is no such thing as definite. We live in a world of endless possibilities, so the truth, if any to the matter, is that you will not ever know what you believe you should know. In better words, if you're supposed to know left or right will never be more right than it is now, for left and right is only a perception in which you control. From a young age, we're told of what other people have done or are doing, and we follow with the assumption that this is an expectation. This may be an expectation of others, but this is not an expectation of you. Why? Because it is only you who knows what is best for you, and only you who knows what ought to be. Anyone who says differently is simply misinformed on their duties. While their intentions may be well, these are only distorting factors for the better or worse. We must live in a world which revolves completely around taking care of ourselves to take care of others. I cannot know what's good for you, only you know what is good for you. Hence the first benefit in finding yourself. In a world of endless possibilities, tomorrow might not be. So this is why we must take charge of the one thing we each hold. When you write your name at the top of a piece of paper or sign down on the dotted line, let it be known that this is your most powerful possession. Now, before I move on to my second important topic, I do find it important to mention that while I say that you should be in control of your life, this does not mean that you will know everything, and it does not suggest you should face life closed-minded. Knowledge is derived from experience. The only truths we have in life come from experiences. You cannot believe everything you see or hear. However, it is advisable to face life with open ears. Present yourself as not only the judge, but the one who solely takes what you've been given and execute a plan. This all brings me to my second important topic, which I find most importantly is being happy. We hear the stories of those who say, do what makes you happy, find something you enjoy, when really there's two bad things to this approach. One is that you will not know what makes you happy until you're doing it every day. And even at that, you still might not know. I'm a bit more of an intuitive person, and I firmly believe that the most humans physically and literally have the required parts to make choices. However, it's our experience in which fuel the parts to make subconscious choices formed on intuition. Do not do what is said should make you happy, but do what feels right. This not only applies to your career, but it applies to your everyday living. If you like, for instance, riding bikes, and riding bikes makes you feel happy, and it feels right, well, then by all means ride that bike and don't let anyone stop you. If you like playing Xbox while your friends like slamming cases on the weekend, there's no wrong or right here. You do what makes you feel right. This applies to all situations, and if your friends can't understand you, well, you might need to find new friends. To sum this all up in simple terms, I just want you to know that regardless of where you are in life, how old you are, what you've done or haven't done, it's never too late to reevaluate how you go about making yourself satisfied with where you are today. It's not about being better, so to speak. It's essentially about being more content while striving to be satisfied. Ultimately, the goal of every living part of this earth is to be born, reproduce, and eventually, if we make it that far, we die. Through this whole time, we search for reasons and purpose, and let me tell you, finding yourself will never bring you closer to that purpose. Eventually, it becomes less about where you are from and more about where you are at. And that's solely regarding your mental state of mind. So when you have a bad day, just know that it is only you who can ultimately determine if that day is bad. Not every day is perfect, and not everyone is either. You cannot only move forward in life knowing yourself more, but you will feel much more accomplished when you one day reach that point when you can look into the mirror and feel great with who you are.
And if you already can, then so be it. But I will tell you this, is that when you do come to that point of time, when you can feel the presence of actually knowing and actually feeling, you will know when it is that you found yourself. Logging out, this is Billy. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and expect more great things coming in the future.